Somebody told me Dharna and Prabhu here. That's what I missed you last time, Boston, I think.
Keep it on this box.
What's the Kirtan? You play? You catch up with my speed also? श्री जगन्नाथ प्रदेश बोधरा महारानी की जय, श्री श्री गौर नेताओं की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की ज्ञानांजनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री वैष्णव श्री साधु भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे This is 7.5.12. Just share this. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chaivanarottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nartaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavatyuttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopatkumaraya Gopitaya. Welcome all of you for the morning session today. You can repeat after me this verse. This is 7.5.12. Yadānuvratah pumsāṃ sa yadānuvratah pumsāṃ Pashubuddhir vividhyate Anyayesha tathanyoham Iti bheda gatāsati sa yadānuvratah pumsāṃ Pashubuddhir vividhyate Anya esha tathanyoham Iti bheda gatāsati. Would you like to recite us? Sayadānuvratam pumsāṃ Pashubuddhir vividhyate Anya esha tathanyoham Iti veda gata. 7.5.12. 7.5.12. Sayadānuvratah pumsāṃ Pashubuddhir vividhyate Anyayesha tathanyoham Iti veda gatāsati. Let's see the translation. Translation price to when the Supreme Personality of God with the because of his devotional service, one becomes a Pandita. One does not make distinctions between enemies, friends, and himself. Intelligently, he then thinks every one of us is an eternal servant of God, and therefore we are not different from one another. Please repeat after me. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased with the living entity, Because of his devotional service, one becomes a Pandita, the learned person, and does not make distinctions between enemies, friends, himself. Intelligently, he then thinks, every one of us is an eternal servant of God. We are not different from one another. So it's a very big purport, but I'm only going to take one small section of the purport. But is it going to come? So here in the first paragraph, Prabhupada says that when Prahlad Maharaj's teachers, everybody knows who are the teachers of Prahlad Maharaj? Shandana Marakaya. When they took Prahlad to his father, Hiranyakashipu, so Hiranyakashipu was surprised. How is it that Prahlad, they wanted him to learn economics and, politics and everything, but he is speaking about Krishna consciousness. He was taken by surprise. So he told the teachers of the Gurukul that somebody is sneaking into our Gurukula and teaching my son. Oh, is it echoing? Here it's coming. It is now very close. No, it's still coming. So, see, yes, still coming. I think here I'll mute it here. I muted here. Krishna.
You should disconnect the audio.
Naveen Krishna, can you hear me well?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So his father called him. Again, so he can mute this. Right. So his father was surprised. How this small boy is speaking about Krishna consciousness, although he is being taught something else. You know what was Hiranyakashipu's plan? Make my son into a big demon just like himself, so that he can perpetuate his bad activities all over the world. But then son turned out to become a devotee of God. Rather, by the grace of my spiritual master and the grace of Lord Krishna, I have now learned that no one is my enemy and no one is my friend, like the Prahlad Maharaj told his father. So he actually was telling his father that, my dear father, everybody is a child of God. Everybody is like our brother and sister in this world. And Krishna is father for everybody. All spirit souls are one in quality. Why do you see somebody as enemy and somebody as friend? I heard a story of once upon a time. There were once upon a time, frogs were living in one locality, and there was a great famine in that place. And they all decided to leave to different places. Some went to the north, some went to east, some went to south, some went to west. And they left their native place and went to other places. But then when they went to other places, they said, hey, you are new frogs coming from another alien place. We don't know. Unless you look like us, we cannot accept you into our community, they said. So, the south, there were yellow frogs. They said, you have to be yellow. So they painted them yellow. And in the north, the frogs said they are green. So they painted them green. They went to east. They said they are blue. They painted them blue. And the another side, there was orange. So they painted orange. So they were all now having different colors, external skins, isn't it? So now they were living peacefully. One day they heard a pleasant news that in the native place, again, there is abundant water and abundant, prosperity. And they were being invited by the relatives, come back. So they were planning to go back. So when they all came back, now something strange happened because they were all looking different. Isn't it? Somebody is yellow, somebody is red, somebody is blue, somebody is green. And they were all fighting with one another. Hey, you don't look like me, I don't look like you, you are different, I am different. Huh? You are my enemy, you are my friend, and things like that. All the green frogs said, all the green ones come together, we are friends, and the yellow ones are enemies, red ones are enemies. They were all saying. And they are fighting like this. Suddenly there was a heavy downpour of rain. Rain washed off all the colors. Then they understood, hey, we all look alike. There's no difference. So what is the moral of the story? Only our bodies, which you see in the mirror, they are different. But the souls are all similar. Because in every body, the same type of soul is sitting. Just like the frogs were colored with different paints. Similarly, we are all having different type of external appearance. Somebody is fair, somebody is black, somebody is tall, somebody is short, somebody is fat, somebody is thin, isn't it? These are external bodies. But when their external bodies gradually fall away, Krishna says, no, Vasam Sidirnan Yada Vihaya Navani Grihnati Tata Sharirani Vihaya Dirnani Anyani Samyati Navani Dehi. So when the body gets old, you cast away that body and then it is either buried in a coffin or it's burned. External mortal. In all the body, same type of soul is present. That's what Prahalad saw. We all have it. We actually call it in Sanskritam, we call it as a Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. You all will repeat one verse after me. Ayam Nija Paro Veti Gananam Laguchetasam Udara Saritanam Vasudhayeva Kutumbakam. What is the meaning of this verse? I am Nija Paro Veti. He is mine and he is my enemy. To separate the world like this, Gananam Laguchetasam. They are small-minded people. Like very mean-minded or small-minded. But Udara Charitana means Udara Charita means one who can accommodate people from all walks of life, like Prahlad Maharaj here. They see the whole world as one family. That family not only includes human beings, it includes, who else it includes? Animals, birds, all creatures. It includes all 8.4 million species. 14.4, what Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. 14.4 is the famous verse. Sarvajonishu Kaunteya Murtayastam Bhavanti Yaha Tasam Brahma Mahatyonis Aham Bija Vadapita. Yes. Tasam Brahma. I am the, he is saying that Sarvajonishu, which includes all 8.4 million species of life. I am the Father. See, Father is one. All the species are his children. Can anybody harm anybody? Can Russia harm Ukraine?
No.
They can't, correct me? Because we all are children of the same Father. So how can we hurt each other? That is the question of Prahalad. Yeah. But only in illusion, foolishness, one can hurt each other. That's what he's saying. And so that's the first paragraph he says. And the Prabhupada is saying here, second paragraph. Demons think of everyone as a friend or enemy. Yeah. That since everyone is a servant of, but Vaishnavas say that since everyone is a servant of the Lord, everyone is on the same platform. Therefore, Vaishnava treats other living entities neither as friends nor as enemies, but instead tries to spread Krishna consciousness, teaching everyone that we are all one servant, one as servants of the Supreme Lord, but we are uselessly wasting our valuable lives by creating nations, communities, other groups of friends and enemies. Everyone should come to the platform of Krishna consciousness and thus feel oneness as a servant of the Lord. One time I asked some children, I went, there's some Cambridge school in Mayapur. So I told them that, say your teacher gives you 4 buns, and each bun has a cherry, isn't it? In the middle. But only 2 buns have it. Other 2 buns had a cherry, but now the cherry is missing. Sometimes cherry falls away. Right? So you have 4 buns, and 2 with cherry and 2 with no cherry. So I asked the children, now teacher tells you that you keep 1 for yourself and then give the other 3 to other children. So which one should you keep? I asked the children. So some children said, I will keep 1 cherry, 1 for myself. Other 3 I'll give it like that. Then some other children said, I will cut the 2 cherries into 4, half. And wherever cherry is missing, I'll keep that in that. So all 4 of us get equal. Like that. One boy said that. Another child said that I'll make an announcement to my friends. Hey, who wants bun with cherry and who doesn't like cherry? Because some children don't like also. See, here we have one. So he said, if 2 of them like, I give them cherry one. And the other 2 I'll give the other one. Because as per the requirement, I will give them. Like this. So why I'm telling you this, everybody's thought process is not the same. People think differently. How accommodating are we when we see differences in this world? That is the question. Because generally, one can actually have an inimical nature, even with one's own brothers and sisters, within one family itself. Or one may be friendly with even people across the globe from another part of the world. Like you are all living in America here. So your neighbor could be a Christian, or a neighbor could be someone else practicing something else. So how comfortable we may be able to. Today I was talking to Radhika in the morning. I was telling her, say, you go to school. How do you cope with your Krishna consciousness when you go to school? Because many children are going to be not devotees there, and you are a devotee family. What do you do? She said, I have one friend of mine who is a devotee in 4th standard, is it? She's in 5th?
Yeah.
She is in 5th, yes. You are in 4th. She is in 4th and that girl is in 5th. We both play together. When you go to school, she said, but what about others? Because in your class, you don't have others devotees, so how do you feel? I asked. So she said, they eat meat and it becomes very difficult. But, I will only accept if they give a bread or something. If there is meat, and that we won't take. So, yes, I'm very strict and all that, she said. Then I told her, can you tell me the difference between a non-devotee and a potential devotee? Now she will tell all of you. Very well, thank you.
Devotee means like they eat non-veg and they don't really care about Krishna consciousness. And if someone asks them if you want to eat, they just say don't touch. Or some people make it. So potential devotees are someone asks them or introduces them, they would get they'll get interest, but non-devotees wouldn't.
Yeah, she said it correctly. You give an example, and what example I gave? For those who are non-devotees and those who are potential devotees.
So Hiranyakashipu was definitely non-devotee because he was the demon, so
he wasn't interested at all. Rather, he was totally opposed. And what example I gave for potential devotee? Prahlad Maharaj is a potential devotee already.
Yeah.
Already, potential devotee means a prospective devotee. Prahlad Maharaj's friends, isn't it? So how do we say they are potential devotees, although they are born in the family of demons? They are in association. They are in association of Prahlad. Of course, some people even in association will not want to take it. Even Hiranyakashipu had the same association of Prahlad, but he didn't take it. But these boys, demoniac schoolmates, They were also in association of Prahalad. So how are they different from Hiranyakashipu? How are they different? How are they different? Anybody can say?
They sit and
There's a friendly relationship.
Ah. Yeah, they were willing to listen to Prahalad. And Prahalad spoke. In a famous verse, it says, no, Kaumaram Acharit Prajnu Dharma Bhagavatani from there. So they were willing to sit down and listen to Prahalad and ask him questions. And then they got clarity. And they, at one point of time, they started standing up and dancing for the kirtans, which Prahalad did. And in this way, all of them became devotees. And that's where the Shanda America school Gurukul teachers became disturbed. They complained to Hiranyakashipu, sir, we thought only your son is a devotee. He's making everybody into devotee. Huh? They said. So therefore, we call them as what devotees?
Potential.
Prospective devotees or potential devotees. So when we are also living with people, when you are having many people around you, you will see that some people, they may be staunchly practicing their own religion, but the very fact that they are bowing down to God. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says this. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, he says, if somebody goes in front of their God and bows down to God, he is a Vaishnava, he says. Because they are accepting God is great, I am small. I am servant of God. I am small. God is great. They are bowing down. Their understanding of God may not be like what our evolved understanding in Krishna consciousness. They may have some understanding of God. And we have to respect that. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, when I go to a mosque or a church, what do I feel? He wrote a letter. He said, here resides God. Here resides my God in a different form with different name and different set of methods of worship. And, they are glorifying God with a different name, Alleluia, or something like that, they may glorify him. But here, the same Lord, my Lord Krishna only is manifesting to them in a way they can comprehend him. So I bow down to my Lord Krishna in their church or in their mosque, like the Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote. This goes to show how Bhaktivinoda Thakur is accommodating people from all walks of life. So Krishna consciousness, this is how is a very secular and large-hearted religion. We actually don't see any enmity between anybody. Like you can see, one country produces doctorates and tells them, make bombs so we can kill the neighborhood country people. And the neighborhood country people produces another set of doctorates and say, you fellows make scuds and missiles and you can throw it in this neighborhood country. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur asked the question, even though they are doctorates and postdoctorate fellowships, their education has not dissolved their enmity, rather it is increasing enmity. Their education has not dissolved their violent nature or a malicious heart. Is not verified by such high-fi education. Then what is the use of education? He asked. The purpose of education is heart transformation. If heart is not transformed, that education is good for nothing. So in Krishna consciousness, you will see Mrigari was cruel, but he became compassionate. Isn't it? So there was one Rahugana who had offended one Jadabharata. How many of you heard about that? Yeah, you all have heard, right? Yeah. So Rahugana was arrogant while speaking to Jadabharata, but after knowing who Jadabharata was, he became humble. That means arrogant person should become humble. How do you know he became humble? He got off from the palanquin and fell at the feet of Jadabharata and said, sorry, correct now. I didn't know who you were. So arrogant person should become humble person. Selfish person should become selfless person. Isn't it? A cruel Mrigari became a compassionate Mrigari. Angry person should become a peaceful person. A greedy person should become a satisfied person. So a lusty rogue like Ajamila, his heart became filled with love and became a devotee of God. You will see that. Adamant person should become a flexible person. Revengeful Dhruva. He completely became free from malice after seeing Lord Vishnu. He came and offered obeisances to his stepmother, Suruchi also. So this is the purpose of religion, transformation of heart. So therefore we say heart transformation is the goal of education. And Prahlad Maharaj had already achieved their education by learning the things from whom? Narada Muni. Therefore, when his father called him and said, Prahlad, tell me, what did you learn in the Gurukula? He thought he will tell him politics and diplomacy and economic development. That's what he thought of hearing. But Prahlad said, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Mandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmani Vedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktischen Navalakshana Kriyeta Bhagavatyadha Tanmanye Adhita Uttamam. My dear father, there is no greater education than this Navavidha Bhakti. You all know Navavidha Bhakti. Shravanam means like you are hearing now. That's Shravana. And Kirtanam means like I am speaking now. Smaranam means remembering the Lord. Like Archana means worshipping the Lord in the altar. And Archanam, Vandanam means offering him prayers and bowing down to him. And Pada Sevanam means Lakshmi is massaging the feet of Narayana, or visiting the holy places, or circumambulating Tulasi. All this is called Pada Sevanam. Archanam, Vandanam, and Pada Sevanam. And Dasyam means like Hanuman, feeling a servitorship to the Lord. God is my master. I am his servant. Yeah. So actually in servants also in Ramayana it is said there were 3 types of servants. Hanuman would stand in front of Ram with folded palms and say, Kim Karomi. My dear Lord, please tell me how can I serve you? That type of relation he had. Whereas Sugriva, Vibhishan, and people like Guha, they were all lovers of Ram, but they had a very reverential relationship. They would stand away from Ram at a distance, and from a distance they would reverentially see him, and they were a little shy to go near him. Any of you have that type of relation with any superior? Like sometimes the spiritual master comes, you are afraid to go near. At the same time, you have affection for him. Or you have such a relation to a teacher sometimes. Some teacher. So you have affection, but affection is mixed with fear also. Fear of his greatness. And Lakshman had a very close relationship. So much so that he can massage the feet of Rama. He can make a cottage for him. He can get vegetables for him. He can sit with him and talk to him. It's a more intimate relationship. So in this way you will find, but all of them consider themselves servants of the Lord. Dasyam. Sakyam means like Arjuna and Krishna. Sakyam. And Atma Nivedana means like Bali Maharaj surrendered. So these are all Navavidha Bhakti we call it. So in this Prahlad Maharaj told his father, if anybody is practicing devotion service, he is the most knowledgeable person because he gives up all malaise. He has no malaise in his heart, no revengeful attitude. Even all of us are practicing devotees. We have to cultivate freedom from malice in our heart also. In fact, regarding Prahlad Maharaj, it is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, great saintly people fold their palms and bow down to Prahlad, saying that, Prahlad, you have no malice even towards your deadly father who was trying to assassinate you in so many ways. We develop malice even towards simple people. But Prahlad didn't develop malice even towards a very dangerous person like Hiranyakashipu. So they pray to Prahlad, give us this ability not to have malice or revengeful thoughts with anybody. That depends on how we all deal with one another. You see, in this world, we all need each other. And everybody is created uniquely by God externally. Like I heard a story in Panchatantra. Once upon a time, there was a small rat which was causing nuisance to a lion who was sleeping. Little make sounds. So the lion would get disturbed. One day the lion roared and got up from their sleep. And he caught hold of this rat. And in his hands, in his grip, he held him very firmly and looked at the rat, and the rat said, "Sir, please don't eat me," he said. I'm sorry, I will not make sound, he said. Lion said, even if I eat you, you are not big enough for my breakfast also. You will go to one corner of my belly. I won't be satisfied eating you. Lion laughed at him. And the rat said, "Sir, if you spare my life, I will be of help to you in future," he said. The lion laughed at him and said, "Ridiculous. You, such a tiny rat, will help me? Don't you know I am the king of the jungle?" he said. And then he said, "Anyway, I'll spare your life. Get lost." He threw the rat away. The rat ran away from the place. Some months later, one time a hunter had put a net and the lion got caught in the net and he just couldn't move his body around. And the net So he went inside the net for eating a piece of flesh, and he got caught there. He just couldn't come out. At the time, lion was roaring and moving his body, but he just couldn't come out. At that time, the rat saw the situation of the lion, and he came and cut him. The rat has a special type of teeth Krishna has given him. he can cut even wires. He cut all the wires and then released the lion, and the lion realized that even though rat is very tiny, he can also be of some help. Like you see these 5 fingers, every finger has some purpose. God has created them uniquely, right? This finger is used for challenge, isn't it? This finger is used for indicating somebody. If you want to show something, you use this finger, isn't it? And this finger we use for putting a ring, isn't it? And this is the tallest finger. So every one of these fellows is qualified in some way. This fellow is challenging, this fellow is indicating, he's the tallest of all, this fellow is having gold ring. So all of them are qualified. So the tiny finger was thinking, I'm good for nothing. I'm not tall like this fellow. I'm not fat like this fellow. Nobody puts ring in me. I'm good for nothing, I was thinking. But then one day this finger realized, even I am also not useless. Why? Sometimes it is itching, we do like this. When he is just. So in one class, I was giving a class like this, and I was telling like this, that even this finger is not useless and we can do this. Actually, of course, this I told later. I asked everybody, all the fingers have some purpose, but this finger doesn't seem to have any purpose. Is it a useless finger? I asked. Then there was a very little child, she was just 6 years old, 5 or 6 years old. She raised the hand and said, Lord Krishna lifted Govardhan hill. With that finger. Usually Krishna lifted with the hand. Then he lifted with the finger. Why? Because he wanted to. Mother Yashoda came crying, weeping. She came, Kana, what are you doing? You're lifting a mountain. What will happen? It will fall on your head. So he wanted to show her, don't think it is not even this much heavy. It's not even this much heavy also. See, with this finger, he is able to hold. By that, he gave her confidence that it is not very heavy. It's very light for me. I can lift it. So, in this way, that the little girl found out one more way how this finger can be used for lifting the Govardhan hill. So, but why I'm telling you this, everybody is uniquely created. All of us are differently created by Krishna. Somebody can sing sweetly. Somebody can speak nicely. Somebody can cook nicely. Somebody can, distribute books very nicely. Yeah. Somebody can host a program. Somebody can organize a program. Like any program to be successful, you need 3 people. You need a host, you need a speaker, and you need a coordinator. Correct? No? All 3 should know that we are playing 3 different roles. Correct? No? Somebody may say, oh, you are just hosting a program, even I can do it. Some people say like that. Actually, hosting is not very easy. Opening your doors for all Vaishnavas to come and occupy your house. Instead, somebody may think, I can just bolt my door and relax at home. Why should I open my doors to others? The whole thing is also a wonderful thing. And speaker means he has to prepare, he has to be prepared what he has to convey to the people. Similarly, the coordinator's job is a tough job. Call people and remind them, hey, there's a program, are you coming? One by one, calling everybody. So every one of these 3 people should value one another. Then we will be able to appreciate. Similarly, somebody may do the background service. Somebody may do the forefront service. And one is contemporary. I'll tell you one real story what happened. There was one President Yudhishthira Prabhu. He saw that the book distributors are becoming a little proud. He once observed that the book distributors were talking amongst one another. They said, we are the guys who are going out and we are like the soldiers out in the field. We are distributing books. Prabhupada said, book distribution is the most important activity and we are doing it. And look at these other guys in the kitchen. They just stay behind and they just cook in the kitchen. And they never go out like us. Anyway, let them serve us and we will, then we will go and distribute. Anyway, they can't do such a distribution like us. At least let them cook, that's all. Like that they were talking. So when this Prabhu saw, he thought his attitude is not very good. They have no respect for the people in the kitchen. So one day morning, it so happened that book distributors are all coming marathon time, book marathon time. They saw that it is like close to 7 o'clock, and the kitchen department, nobody had come to cook. And they were taken by surprise. What happened? So they were all talking amongst each other, hey, we have to leave at 8 o'clock. Our book distribution, nobody has come. Then they came together amongst one another. Then they heard that all the kitchen department people have, gone to another city for something. Nobody is available today. So they asked, I used to Prabhu President. President said, I'm sorry. Yesterday night, some emergency call came. They all took a van and went away to another city. There was no one available. Can you guys manage cooking today? They all came to the kitchen, and one of the book distributors said, I have seen my mother cooking khichdi, so I'll give a try. He said. Another one said, if you can put everything together, then I can help you in stirring. So one fellow somehow gathered the ingredients, but he had seen his mother putting some mung dal and some rice and jeera, whatever we have to be put, everything all in one he put. And he put excessive salt also, he didn't know the quantity. Other fellow was stirring, and one fellow put on the fire, and they were not used to kitchen. So the fellow who was arranging the fire, he got his finger burnt. Somebody was cutting the sabji, he got his leg, finger cut a little bit, because they were not used to all this, So they were struggling. At last, khichdi was made and offered. When they sat to eat at, 8 o'clock, they thought we'll quickly put the khichdi and rush for the service. And the khichdi was completely uncooked. The rice was like a stone. Nobody could eat even one morsel. They spat and everybody threw away the plate, and their stomachs were unfilled and they were hungry. And they all became morose. And nobody was enthusiastic. So the book distribution head was asking, all of you guys, are you coming? Let us manage, let's go to the bakery and take some bread and jam and go. They said, Prabhu, that will not be satisfactory to us. We are used to eating, chapati, sabji, rice, dal, everything. This khichdi would have been all right. Khichdi also not there. They were not happy. When they were all sad, lamenting, and each of them started glorifying. What our kitchen devotees used to make, what prasad. Every day. Yesterday they made this, the day before they made that, day for the festival they made paneer sabji, for this they made that, and they were crying and glorifying. Now we are not even able to make khichdi also. And they were saying like this, immediately next moment one miracle happened. All the kitchen devotees returned back from the neighborhood compound with hot chapati, sabji, rice, pulao, kadhi, rasamalai, everything big, these things they brought. And then they were all surprised. So both the groups met, Sankirtan team and the book distribution team and the kitchen team. And immediately devotees washed their plates and again sat down and they were served. And the kitchen devotee said, we don't know, but the president told us to cook in the neighborhood compound and bring it today. So the president Prabhu came and said, Prabhu, now is the happiest moment for me because both the groups have been having gratitude for each other. So the point is, when we are put in a dire need of the situation, then we realize the value of each other. Correct? That's the point. And on the contrary, you will see, I told you the story of the rat and the lion just now. The story. Now the lion recognized the value of rat, although he's very tiny. He's very tiny, but he has his value. You will find that, nut or a bolt may be a small part of a big bus. In the bus or a car, there are 2,000 parts. Do you know that? But in that, if one nut gets loose, some part is broken, then there can be a big accident. Correct? No? Because everybody is important, small and big, small or big, every member is very important. So that's what it is. The strength of a team is known by, how the weaklings are treated. So, on the other hand, I know another story in Panchatantra where two members treated one another with malice. That also we should know. Because Sanatana Goswami says you should know good and bad example. Both you should know. Then you can follow the good. Once a fox wanted to tease a crane. He called the crane to his house and gave, he said, today I made paisam, please drink the paisam. He gave in a plate. And the crane was looking with a long beak. How can I drink this? He was looking here and there. He liked paisam he likes very much, but he didn't know how to eat it. So it was remained as it is. And the fox was on the side, licking it and finishing it. And he said, okay, if you can't eat, I'll take that also. No problem. He finished. So, it is. And the crane wanted to take tit for tat. Okay, next week you come to my house, he said. There he kept a long jar. He said, it's a hot summer day. He said, today I made watermelon juice. So he put his beak, he drank. And the fox was wondering, how will he can't even go to the top of it. He's watching, how can I drink it? I've got given a plate. So fox had to starve and the crane finished both the jars. So why I'm telling you this, there are some people who behave with one another like this. Is it good?
No.
It creates very unpleasant feeling, isn't it, for one another? You did this to me, I will do that to you back. Yeah, there's a story in the Srimad Bhagavatam. There were two girls, Sarmishta and Devyani. See, Devyani is a daughter of Shukracharya. And Sarmishta is the daughter of King Vrishaparva. So one is a king's daughter, one is a Brahmana's daughter. So, but they both were thick friends. They both went to the, pond to take a bath. And they were splashing the water, playing in the water. They had kept their clothes in the bank of the pond. Out of the two of them, the Kshatriya daughter, king's daughter, she finished bathing first. So she came out of the water. By mistake, she took the clothes of other girl, Devyani. She took her clothes and she started putting on her body. Seeing that Devyani was still in the water, she became very angry. She said, "Hey, you Sarmishta, you are like a dog," she said. And then Sarmishta looked shocked. She said, "You are like a dog. Why? Like a dog enters into the house of a Brahmana and carries away the clarified butter that is kept for the sacrifice. So you have taken my clothes and put on your body. You shameless one," like that she said. Actually, she was indirectly hinting even more sharper words at her, which means the dog is the protector of the house. It barks and protects the enemies from coming into the house. So she indirectly hinted her that we are Brahmanas and you are a Kshatriya. Kshatriya, you should protect the door. And we are Brahmanas keeping clarified butter for the sacrifice. You are taking our property, that kind of thing. Subtly she hinted that. She spoke like that. And she became angry. Who? Dharmishta. She said, what? You are insulting me and my whole race? Wait and watch what I do. She picked up Devyani and put her into a dry well. There was a well nearby, almost this height, from here to here. It was a dry well. So she picked up from the pond and put her inside. So why she did like that? You see, Brahmanas can have a sharp tongue. And Kshatriyas don't speak much, they do action. She showed her action. She picked up and put her like. So she did tit for tat. Correct, no? She did? So you can see this mentality of people. If everybody in this world did tit for tat like that, nobody can be peaceful, nobody can be happy. So the first mistake was committed by whom? Devyani. Because, okay, by mistake, somebody has taken your clothes. You can say, "Hey, Samishta, wait a minute, don't wear that dress. That's mine. You take yours." Because what is your intention in speaking? Is it to rectify the mistake or is it to insult the person? So the intent is very important when we correct somebody. The purpose of correction is not to ridicule somebody or to insult somebody. The purpose of the motive behind the correction is to ensure that some mistake doesn't happen. So her intention wasn't proper. So it all started from there. And then Sarmishta reacted back, feeling intolerable. She reacted back. But therefore, the enmity in this world starts like this. If you treat everybody as our own brother and sister, very dear one, within a family, we all tolerate each other right now. In the same manner, the whole world, when you are living together with other living beings. So that's what he's saying here. So one last thing I will read and then we will take some discussions. The same, this is a very good thing. This one, Prabhupada writes here, you can see here. Prabhupada says here, everyone should be, you can repeat this, a very important paragraph. This is called Vaikunta thinking purport. Please all of you repeat. Everyone should be friendly for the service of the Lord. This is what I have been elaborating till now. Right now, we should be friendly or we should be quarrelsome? Friendly. If you are friendly for the service of the Lord, then something wonderful will happen. Right now, everybody can do their part. And together we can move this Prabhupada mission forward. Somebody will cook and somebody will distribute books. Somebody will give class, somebody will host, somebody will coordinate. Somebody will donate funds. Different people will do different things. And we should be friendly with each other, not comparing with one another. I am better than you. I am more intelligent than you. You are good for nothing. That kind of thing one shouldn't do. Second line. Everyone should praise another's service to the Lord. Not be proud of his own service. Yeah. Like, it is not that one service is more important, other service is less important. See, in one ISKCON temple, there were two Matajis. One was Satyabhama Mataji, one was Rukmini Mataji. So this Satyabhama Mataji used to make very nice garlands, very high quality garlands she used to make for the deities. And she has been doing for almost 10, 12 years. So she has become an expert. When you do something repeatedly over a period of time, you become, practice makes a man perfect. She has become very perfect. So, and Rukmini Mataji, she used to cook in the kitchen. Her favorite was cooking Rajabhog for the deities. She was doing. So one day Satyabhama Mataji and Rukmini Mataji met each other in the corridors of the temple. Satyabhama Mataji asked Rukmini Mataji, have you ever made garland in this temple? She asked Rukmini Mataji said, once in a while I do, Mataji, I do. How long do you take? She said, take me around 6 hours to make a very fine garland. Satyabhama Mataji said, I can make it in 2 hours. Do you know that? She said, yes, Mataji, you are very expert. And I am not so expert in making garland. I take 6 hours. No, I have heard many devotees glorifying you. You are a very expert garland maker, I agree. And Satyabhama Mataji asked her, why are you not like me? Why don't you pick up? Why are you so slow in making? We take 6 hours to make. I make it to, at least we should be able to make it in 3 hours. She was telling. So, and both of them had one counselor Mataji above. Her name was Radhika Mataji. Not this Radhika. She's a grown-up Mataji, was another Radhika. So the Radhika Mataji observed this. This is happening. So then she called Satyabhama Mataji and she asked her a question. See, if you keep a race between a horse and a dog, running race, who will come first? If you keep a barking competition between a dog and a horse, who will win first? So she said, if you give a garland making competition, you will come first, Satyabhama. And if you give a cooking competition, who will come first? Rukmini Mataji will come first. Then she asked Satyabhama Mataji, have you ever done Rajabhog? She said, no, Mataji, I don't do. Once in a while I have done. But even what I did didn't come out so well. I am not so good in cooking. She said, imagine if Rukmini demands you, can you cook like me? What will be your answer? You will have to, your face will be hung, because you are not good at cooking. Then Satyabhama Mataji realized, yeah, that's true. What you're saying is true. Then she said, nobody should be proud of their own service. And one should respect another service also. And one should also respect that everybody has a different capacity. This squirrel has squirrel's capacity. Hanuman has Hanuman's capacity. So when Hanuman saw when squirrel was putting the small stones, he was putting big boulders. He caught hold of the squirrel by his tail and caught him upside down and said, hey, squirrel, why are you creating nuisance here? Get lost, he said. And the squirrel said, sir, I am doing my lot. I am doing whatever little I can do. At that time, Lord Rama was observing it and said, Hanuman, as much as I respect your service, I also respect squirrel service. Why? You are doing according to your capacity, and he is doing according to
his
his capacity. So because he is giving his full capacity, therefore I love his service. And you are giving, imagine Hanuman will also start putting small stones. Ram will catch him. Hey, your capacity is this much. You do according to who's your capacity. And Squirrel can do according to,
his capacity.
because he's putting his best. Therefore, Lord Ram said, I don't see the results, I see the effort. Lord said. Similarly, when a devotee is putting the best effort, one should appreciate that. For example, there was one devotee who used to do a lot of book distribution. But at one point of time, that family, parents and grandparents became very old and some of them are bedridden. That family couldn't engage in book distribution for a couple of years. Then they were not coming. So other book distributors were catching. Hey, why are you not coming nowadays? You're not seen in the temple, you're not doing. They said, no. Whatever books we are distributing, that much we are sponsoring now for subsidizing the books. They said, that's all. You just give a donation. You don't do book distribution. They said, yes, we would like to do. But you see, sir, there are some elderly members of the family bedridden. They have some disease. You have to take care. At least we are able to put aside some money, give money equal to the books. So when one cannot serve in one way, one may serve in another way. You all know there is an eagle called Sampati. Anybody knows? Whose brother is he? Detai's brother. So one day the Sampati was sitting in a cave. His wings were actually completely gone. Without wings he was sitting. So the Vanaras, monkeys went there. So Sampati talked to those monkeys. My dear monkeys, long before me and my brother Jatayu, we flew up in the sky. And the sun was becoming terribly hot. To protect my brother Jatayu, I flew above him and to protect him. But then my wings got burnt. And from there I fell down in this mountainous area. And he said, since then I was wingless. I thought of committing suicide. Let me die. Now, what is the use of eagle with no wings? You can never fly high. You can't get your food and everything. At the time when Nishachara Muni arrived there, so that Nishachara Muni told me, see, you have a son. He will get you daily food. You just sit in this cave. Let him bring you. And then after many, many years, you will have the Vanaras want to come here. At that time, you will speak to them some important information. At that time, your wings will regrow. They will again grow again. Like that is said. Be patient. So that fellow Sampati was waiting for 8,000 years in the Treta Yuga. He waited for a long time. At that time, when the Vanaras came, he gave them information about whom? Sita in Lanka. At that time, the most important thing comes here. He said that right now I don't have the wings, so I am unable to serve Ram with my wings now. Otherwise, I would have flown to Lanka to help out. But I cannot fly now. So in the event of my wings not being there, I at least can serve with my mouth, he said, by speaking the truth. So I will tell you the information about Ravana, how he took Sita to Lanka. So you all hear me attentively. And then he said, all of you want to go there and find out Sita. That means if we can't serve the Lord in one way, we can serve in another way. If somebody is trying to do service in some way, we should appreciate it rather than criticize them. Why are you not doing this service? Why are you not doing that service? Why don't you be like me? We can't clone anybody to be like us. Everybody is what they are. But we only have to see, are they chanting Hare Krishna? Are they doing some kind of service? Are they making an effort? Struggling to serve is equal to serving. Making an effort to serve. So Prabhupada is saying, yes, this is the way of Vaishnava thinking, Vaikunta thinking. And then he says, there may be rivalries and apparent competition between servants in performing service, but in the Vaikunta planet, service of another servant is appreciated, never condemned, it says. This is Vaikunta competition. You should appreciate other service. There is no question of enmity between servants. Everyone should be allowed to render service to the Lord, to the best of his ability, and everyone should appreciate the service of others also. Such are the activities of Vaikunta. Since everyone is a servant, everyone is on the same platform and is allowed to serve the Lord according to his ability. Yeah, as confirmed in this thing. God is doing everyone's heart, like the Prabhupada says, very beautiful thing. So I'm going to show you one small video, then we will conclude. Why it's giving me difficulty?
It's frozen.
Hmm.
It's frozen.
Frozen. Yes. What is happening? Past tense doesn't. Okay. It's a beautiful video of the spiritual world. And I just want to show that.
Is it online somewhere?
No, it's very heavy one. A battery is that? I'm not sure. Battery must be over. So anybody want to? We can have some discussion in 2 minutes.
Yes, Prabhu.
You can call for discussion.
So in the meantime, anyone want to ask questions? Please.
3 things devotees can do. One, it's either they can recollect from class anything that I said which they liked and they will remember it. That's one thing. Or they can speak some reflection in relation to what I spoke. Or they can ask questions. Any one out of the 3.
Yes, ma'am. Chaitanya Kishore Prabhu has.
Yeah, so, Prabhu, thank you for this wonderful.
Right.
Just have a quick question. You said that,
Yeah.
But usually in practical life, you see all of these emotions, more of it is very subtle, with respect to like, displaying envy towards each other or displaying some kind of arrogance towards each other. On the face value, it is very nice. People will be like very happily saying, "Oh, you did very nice," but intentions are not very evident. It's very subtle.
Yeah.
So how do we, deal with that? That's a little difficult to understand what's going on in the other person's mind. Of course, you don't want to analyze that, but sometimes it hurts you because of the actions that some people do.
Actually, it is always good that we assume that the other person's intentions are good. We can assume that, generally speaking. We don't too much think about what may be in that person's mind and things like that. Generally, what happens, we lose innocence as the years go on sometimes. So because we When we lose that innocent this thing, then we think of each other with it in different manner. And over a period of time, you can see that, in case a person's behavior doesn't match what he speaks, you feel like that, then later on you can change it afterwards. So generally we should assume that whatever he speaks, that's what he means. Because sometimes, what happens, the person may be simple and he may be thinking too many bad things.
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, correct. Like one example I'll tell you. Say, yesterday evening, I had a little strain with somebody, for example. Next day morning, I am seeking a favor, and the person says no. Our mind's nature is to connect the two.
Correct.
Right now. Actually, truly speaking, he may not have any bad intention to help me now in the morning, but he is unable to. On the other hand, you'll find afternoon he will come with some other help he will give, and you'll be surprised. Every morning he said no, now he is giving me another type of help. Why? Because he didn't intend to connect yesterday night to the morning one. Although our mind connects. Like Hiranyakashipu's son must be Asura, like that the Devatas thought. That was the wrong thing. Narada said, no, he's a Mahabhagavat, they said. Because we think Asura ka putra Asura, say, you think Asura's son must be Asura. You think like that. But Lord Narasimha, you see, he didn't think like that. Lord Narasimha separated the two. He understood Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad is Prahlad. He's keeping Prahlad on his lap and he is finishing Hiranyakashipu. You will see that. Because Lord doesn't connect and see. Although he's born in a demoniac family, Lord knew that he is not demoniac in nature. We have to cultivate the same thing. We see everything as a separate compartment. We don't connect to the previous things and don't keep any lingering thoughts. And also, even if I had a strain with somebody, what is my ultimate goal? To continue the strain or to resolve it? If you really want to dissolve it, you say, somebody gave me a very good topic to speak on. Forgive, forget, and be friendly. 3 F's, you remember? Forgive, forget, and be friendly. I spoke on that. So, forgiving is also difficult. But after forgiving, forgetting is very difficult. And to be friendly is, all these 3 were done by Prithu Maharaj towards Indra. You will see that. Prithu Maharaj forgave Indra. He was willing to forget what Indra did, and he also embraced him. So therefore, Prithu's forgiveness was most appreciated by Lord Vishnu. Thank you. I can show the spiritual world. Is sound coming? Ask them. Sound is coming good? Vishnu?
No problem. We cannot hear anything.
Okay.
I'm going to share it in Zoom.
No, I have to do this one. Here, I put this. Yeah, sound I have put. Okay, now it will come. So now sound is coming, just check it.
No problem.
Here it's not coming, there it's going, it seems.
We can't hear it.
Not coming?
No problem. We are just seeing the share screening, but we cannot hear anything.
Okay, just a minute. This one I think.
Yes.
कौसल्या सुप्रजा रामपूर्वा सन्ध्या प्रवर्तते उत्तिष्ठ नरशार्दूल कर्तव्यं दैवमान्धिकम्.
So, the Vaikunta planets, it is said, as you see here, all the Vishnu Dutas are similar to the form of Lord Narayana. You can see that.
कौसल्या सुप्रजा रामपूर्वा सन्ध्या प्रवर्तते उत्तिष्ठ नरशार्दूल कर्तव्यं दैवमान्धिकम्.
And there it is said that they are all free from passion and ignorance. Their hearts are filled with goodness always. like the Supreme Lord. Lord and the devotees have similar nature.
Om Namo Narayana.
So they fly in airplanes in a black and
Om Namo Narayana.
So it says there are desert trees there, which are kalpavriksha trees. They are filled with flowers and fruits in all seasons. And not only that, in this world, if you go to a banana tree and ask for banana, it will give you banana. If you ask for a mango, it will give you banana only again. It cannot give another fruit. There it can give any fruit. See, plums and flowers. Yeah. Something is creating this. I just will come out, I think. It's coming now. See, here it says that, I'm going to show you this one. There are many beautiful birds like, peacocks. They sing very sweetly, peacocks or cuckoos or parrots. They are all called royal birds. But amongst them, when they are all singing loudly, there is a bumblebee which is humming. It's humming. But the bumblebee is coming from the garland of Narayana. So he wants to tell about the beauty of the face of Narayana and what experience he had. Now all the other birds, Kola Halo Viramate, it is said in this verse, you see. Paravadani Pratasarasa Chakravaka Ratyugaham Srishapati Tiribarhinamya Kola Halo Viramate means they became very calm. So they're going to, he's going to sing Harikatha.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
In this verse it says all the flower bearing plants, Mandara, Vaikunta, Gurabhagotpala, Champakarana, all of them. When Tulasi comes, they all are bowing down. Tulasi doesn't have a great flower or a fruit.
Shri Krishna Preyoshi Namo Namo Tulasi Krishna Preyoshi Namo Namo Broje Radha Krishna Sheba Pavo Eyobi Lashi.
See, Tulasi is always in Krishna's lotus feet, correct? See, all of them, their personified forms are offering obeisance to Tulasi, Maharani. So they don't complain that Tulasi doesn't have fruit like us or flower like us. They know that Tulasi is a very great devotee. So they're bowing down. So point is, in spiritual world, they have respect for one another, love for one another, and they are free from envy and malice. That's the main point. Yeah. Similarly, when they go in aeroplanes, they're always thinking of how to serve Krishna. You will see that. They are you know how to get aeroplane like this. You just bow down and say aeroplane, immediate aeroplane will be there. Just desire and you get it in spiritual world. You don't have to have aeronautics industry to make it. And this is about Golok Vrindavan. Golok also, he says here, see, Vrindavana is the transcendental abode of the Lord where there is no hunger, anger, or thirst. Though naturally inimical, both humans and fierce animals live together in transcendental friendship. Like tiger and deer drink water together in Yamuna. Because in Vrindavan, tiger also drinks only milk only. Tiger doesn't eat deer. Material world, you see the tiger. Material world, the tiger is always chasing up the deer, and deer is afraid of it. You seen the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was singing this thing. See the tree dancing, see? Line is very correct, is it?
कथागानं नाट्यं गमनमपि वंशी प्रियसखी चिदानन्दं ज्योतिः परमपि तदा स्वाद्यमपि च.
Thank you very much. Prabhupada ki. So now you should put sound and all came na proper, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah, properly. Thank you so much for nice video.
It's getting late for all of you, know. I went ahead. Because I showed you the video and everything came very late. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We have two hands raised.
Yes, Prabhu.
They can unmute themselves and help me to ask.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for a wonderful class. I really like it about the class and the topic which you covered, accommodating everyone into our Krishna consciousness movement. So I have a question, I guess a comment. Like you said in the beginning of the class, like how Bhaktivinoda Thakur accommodated even the other religions, like he went to the church and he organized all the Bhakti Vrukshas, Bhakti Vaibhava, everything.
Yeah.
So, and whereas Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Thakur, like we say that he's a Simha Guru. I mean, like he's like banishing the wrongest philosophy, or
But
and
he put chairs for the British people to come and sit in the temple. Generally, in
Correct.
temples we don't have any chairs generally, but there he had arranged for entire temple hall full of chairs, and he gave a lecture. Viceroy came, along with Viceroy, many British people came and sat. So
Correct.
he used to dress very regally looking, and he always associated with many of the Viceroy and his men from British, and many British people became devotees also in persons with Thakur's times.
Right.
So at that time, Westerners are coming to India, and becoming devotees. Later on, he sent his disciple Prabhupada out of India.
Correct.
So it's not that he was inimical. Whoever was willing to receive Krishna consciousness, he was very welcoming to them, irrespective of caste, creed, color, nationality, and all.
Correct.
What he was vehemently opposed was, the Buddhism and impersonalism. These two don't teach you subordination to God. Buddhism is Shunyavad.
Correct.
Impersonalism says you are only God. Therefore, any Vaishnava will be opposed to that.
Okay.
But whereas if you see Islam, Christianity, and Hinduism, all of them talk about God being supreme and the Jiva being subordinate. That is actually, he says, that's a Vaishnava religion, he says.
Correct, bro. Yeah.
Vaishnava means God is great, I am small. God is a maintainer, protector, well-wisher, and we are protected, maintained, under the custody of God. That's the correct understanding, actually.
Yeah, and also adding to this, like whereas Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj very strong on condemning wrong philosophy and everything, and whereas Bhaktivinoda Thakur is like accommodating all the people. So in realistic
No, Bhaktivinoda Thakur also is very strong. I'll tell you where. You heard this song? Saragaye Vakilate Lek Gaurami Lena. You heard this song?
Yes, bro, yeah.
That song written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Correct.
There were 13 Upper Sampradaya people. One of the categories called the Owl Bowl.
Yeah.
Owl, see, Baul is a good name. Baul means Avaduta Bhakta. One exalted devotee. But then some of the Sahajya people, cheaters, they were actually pretending to be Babajis. And they were singing very sweet songs. The same tune they would sing. So what he did, he wrote a song very similar to that tune, but the whole song is actually defeating them.
Correct.
He is simply wearing a tilak and kantimala and you are pretending to be Babajis, but you don't be cheater. By cheating, you will never attain Lord Gaura. Like that he sings. So he also condemned. Actually, all the acharyas you will see, they condemn darkness or ignorance, they condemn it, and then somebody is in the gray zones. They are not totally black. They are reformable. Then they accommodated them.
Yeah.
Somebody is not reformable. Somebody is destroying themselves, destroying others. They have to be marked out and shown clearly.
Right.
Our Prabhupada also was not against scientists. He was against atheists.
Correct.
And you see T.D. Singh, he became a very great devotee.
Correct.
Even we are not against anybody per se. Somebody is willing to. Actually, Prabhupada says one who is an impersonalist claims to be God himself. He thinks Krishna is also like an ordinary human being. And that is offensive. So we have to call a spade a spade. Otherwise, people will not know who Krishna is and what Jiva is. If we don't speak the truth, who will speak the truth? If Vaishnavas don't speak the truth, then who will speak the truth?
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhu, if somebody is getting late, they can proceed then. If those who wish to stay, can stay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a holiday today.
Holiday. Okay. Shyamasa Mataji's hand has been up again. Manoj Chaitanya. Manoj Chaitanya, yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for your class, Prabhuji. Especially you connect everything to a story from Bhagavatam, and it really helps us to assimilate it how our previous generations have taken it forward. So one question I wanted to ask you, Prabhu, it keeps recurring in different places in different times again and again. So I wanted to know what is the best solution for this? When today you spoke about quarrels between Vaishnavas and stuff like that. So I just wanted to know that if there are two Vaishnava devotees, senior Vaishnava devotees, if they're and we have I have a genuine appreciation for both of them, and if they are having a quarrel between due to some reason, we don't know how quarrels can come, but due to whatever reason a quarrel erupts, and we have a genuine appreciation for both of them, and what is the role of a junior devotee? Should he just wait for Krishna to intervene? Of course Krishna will intervene, but
what junior, we can do two things, Prabhu. One thing is you can bring it to the knowledge of some senior who is senior to both those people.
Okay. Okay.
In case that senior is not aware,
Uh-huh.
you can create awareness of senior and say that these two people are having very unpleasant exchanges, and that is creating bad vibes in the community. So please
Okay.
kindly look into the matter. Too. I am too small to handle it. I am just bringing it in knowledge like that. Like in Pune, for example, if anything is happening in the community, there are some people who write anonymous mail to me.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Why they write anonymous? Nowadays, making a new email is easy nowadays. Why they write anonymous email? Because they don't want their name to come out.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because then they're afraid that those two fellows will catch him. Hey, what did you report to that fellow? You know? So make a new anonymous email and then send. And I am very fond of feedbacks in Pune. Anybody sends feedback, I immediately respond to them. For me, feedback is like gulab jamun. You know? Because without feedback, our community will never grow. Somebody give us feedback. Like somebody was complaining about Govindas in those days. Immediately some leaders became upset. Why do people always say only the bad things? So many good things you are doing that they are not talking about. I said, you see, the very fact they are bringing up some bad thing means that means they have some hope in us that we are likely to change. If you are going to react back very badly, then feedback will never come. So in this way, you can send a feedback with anonymous mail to them and see whether they are responding. If they are not responding, then we can personally meet the senior and say, Prabhu, I sent one mail and didn't get any response. Very serious matter. Please look into it. You can tell them. That's one thing. Another thing, whenever you find two seniors having a little unpleasantness with each other, we may think it's a big fight, but oftentimes it is not a big fight. Because in certain things they have difference in opinion. In other things they have no difference in opinion.
Okay.
Like I have seen people, certain things they are in total odds with each other, like poles apart in certain things. But in other times they work together very well.
Okay.
One example is some people are very conservative, some are very liberal. They may be poles apart in this. But then when it comes to serving the Prabhupada's mission, they may come together and serve in various departments. That they have no problem with. It's not that they're blaspheming each other all the time. When it comes to this liberal and strict, they will always have differences like that.
Okay.
And the same manner, sometimes in meetings, one of them speaks that this should be done. The other one says, no, that may not be done. Then we think they have enmity. They don't have enmity. They are only talking about the agenda. But after the meeting, they have good friends also. We may not know, like Aditya Acharya Prabhu and Nityananda Prabhu appear to be having quarrel, but they are very thick friends. Similarly, Gopinath Acharya and Sarvabhauma Acharya appear to be having a big fight, but they are the thickest friends, Prabhupada says.
Okay.
Similarly, our Shivas Thakur and Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar is glorifying Vrindavan. Shivas Thakur is glorifying Vaikunta. They appear to be having a tussle, and Mahaprabhu is enjoying their tussle.
Yes, sir.
So it's difficult for us to know, when they have differences. There may be appear to be difference. And also, for example, say, what to speak of two senior people, even two senior gurus also, Say, at the guru level, also, say one guru says you have to present Prabhupada faithfully without any adulteration. Another guru says that, yes, we have to present the truth, but you have to delay the truth a little bit. First be sensitive to the people. And then one person comes, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very sensitive to Prakashananda Saraswati or Sarvabhauma Acharya. And then by the sensitivity, he could open their heart. The humility is the key to open the heart of anybody.
That's true.
Then you go inside the heart and there you put a bomb. And destroy the anartha. Like you see, Mahaprabhu, after entering the heart, he put bomb for both the fellows. Prakashananda Saraswati and Sarvabhauma Acharya. So some gurus feel this is better. If you put bomb outside only, they will run away. After going inside, you put the bomb. So they say that give the truth, but give it to the package. Like we say, iron fist with the velvet gloves. But somebody says, no need a velvet glove. Just give a punch with iron fist. Let his tooth break. Somebody may say. Somebody else may say, no, 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 don't break his tooth, poor fellow, let him become a devotee. Iron fist with the velvet gloves. So the idea is what? They may be saying the same thing slightly differently. We may think they are enemies. They are not enemies actually. Both ultimately want to reach Prabhupada's message to the candidate.
Yes, Prabhu.
So and in case there is a apparent misunderstanding between two people, in Sampradaya, it is said that we should not take anyone's side.
Okay.
We should not take, we should think that these are two big fellows fighting. And if I come in between, I'll become chutney in between. So you can say, I have many other important things to do. We can push off from there.
Okay.
People ask me, should there be female Diksha Guru or not? I tell them, I have no time for that. I say, I have no time, don't ask me that question. Whatever GBCs decide, finally I will accept.
Okay.
When I say this, a person has no arguments with me after that. We have no, so we don't entertain. See, 5 things Bhaktivinoda Thakur says we should avoid in Prajalpa. Useless talk, useless talk, argumentation, debate, fault finding, and blasphemy. These 5 things are the ones which waste our time, beginning with useless talk. Is Ayurveda better or, allopathy better? Somebody says allopathy is not good, we should go for homeopathy. Somebody says naturopathy. I tell them, don't worry about anything, worry only about Lakshmipati.
Yes, bro.
Because Prabhupada says, do the needful. Whatever works for you, take it. Don't keep fighting with one another foolishly. Prabhupada also took Ayurveda generally, but when something has to be done, like viral fever, you can't take Ayurveda. In 3 days you want to get rid of it, take antibiotics and finish it off. So Prabhupada was a practical man. Prabhupada said, just do the needful, he said.
Okay.
So therefore, unnecessary arguments with one another, it hardens our heart. It hardens our heart.
Okay.
And if somebody is arguing, they may be able to argue without hardening the heart. How? I'll tell you the example. In Mayapur, my Guru Maharaj is giving a lecture. He was telling an example. If 2 young devotees, 2 Matajis or 2 Prabhujis are quarreling, that is like bringing 2 pots and hitting 2 pots with each other. When you hit 2 pots, what happens? Sound will come. They break, yeah. When they break, what happens? The juice will go out. I mean, the liquid will. Similarly, he said the Krishna Prem is like a juice in your heart. When 2 people quarrel, then the juice goes out and your heart will run dry. And you cannot repair the heart also. It's very difficult. For lifelong, they become sworn enemies like that. As soon as they look at each other, they'll turn their face and they'll go away. But then somebody was telling, what if big devotees have a difference? But they have an ordinary mud pot, they have a golden pot. So when 2 golden pots hit, they don't crack. You'll see that. Although they have difference in opinion. I'll tell you one example. Jananivas Prabhu and my spiritual master, Naranath Maharaj, they both are very thick friends. One day, we were in Wada, Brahmachari class was going on. Jananivas was asked by one Brahmachari, Prabhu, Grihasthas have counselors, can we also have counseling system? Like that he asked. Jananivas Prabhu said, no, your super soul is in your heart, he's your counselor. So then again the devotee asked, but I can't access super soul. Super soul is very easy to access. So then I clarified his question. That sometimes need a senior devotee to support them and all that. But Prabhu said, I don't think there is any need for such counseling and all. As long as one knows Lord is in my heart, why to worry about counseling? I was very taken by surprise. That afternoon I met my spiritual master and asked him, Maharaj, you are father of counseling, and your thickest friend says there is no need of counseling. How are you friends? How you can become friends, both of you? If I had a friend like that, I would have had a fight tooth and nail. So then he said an interesting thing. He said, you see, when I make friendship with anybody, he said, if I have a bowl with white balls and black balls, the black balls representing differences and white balls representing, commonality. He said, I'll keep the white balls and one by one I'll throw away the black balls. He said, which means I don't bring up any subject matter that we both are different in. I only bring up subject in which we have commonality, he said. And this is how I maintain friendship with all people, he said. So that made a big impact on me after hearing that, you know. So we all have to do the same thing. See what you are, like for example, say you and your friend, you both wear tilak, correct? You both have Kantumala, you both chant 16 rounds, you both go to ISKCON, you both accept Prabhupada, you both read Prabhupada books, you both are preaching. Yeah. So there are 99 things same. If there is one small difference, why to fight for that small thing? Like that we can see. That's what I told the story of the frogs, which were painted different color.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Shamsaki Mataji, yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, this is Shama Gopi and we both have questions. So maybe Shama Gopi can ask first. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Danvats, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, thank you so much for your class. We actually missed coming personally. We feel sorry about that. Prabhu, it was very nice. Like you took such an important topic and enlightened all of us. Thank you so much. Prabhu, my question is like in lines with Chaitanya Kishore Prabhu's question, and you kind of partly answered it by saying that we should always assume good intentions. But I just wanted to clarify a little bit more on that subject matter because what is more important? Like, is it intention or is it execution? So intention is like actually.
When it comes to our dealing with others, we should think good intentions are not good enough.
Okay, but Prabhu, that can be a problem because sometimes like we hurt devotees by our words and in our heart we say that no, but look, our intentions were good, right? But the problem,
I say good intentions are not good enough. I said when it comes to us dealing with others, when others dealing with us is concerned, even if their speech or behavior is improper, we can assume that they did it with good intention.
I see. Okay. He said, yeah, I see, Prabhu. Okay. I get it, Prabhu. Thank you so much. And I think my sister, like Shama Sakhi, has another question. If you have time, Prabhu, she can ask.
Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing such beautiful videos about Vaikunta. So you discussed two verses. You discussed a couple of verses when you were showing videos, and the two verses caught my attention. So the first one,
third canto, 15th chapter, called Kingdom of God.
Correct. Yes. So in that one, it says that the residents of Vaikunta are beyond passion and ignorance. That was one verse, and the other verse said that the residents there is no anger, thirst, and hunger. There is no hunger, anger, and thirst.
Yes.
So these were the two verses that caught my attention. So I was just little wondering that what is your understanding about the source of envy in spiritual world? Because we get rid of everything here and we go to the spiritual world and then we again become envious, right? Like as per some of the scholars' understanding. So what is the source of that envy?
Yeah. Actually, why we came from spiritual world to material world, and this has been a raging question amongst many devotees. There is one article by Ravindra Prabhu which I will share with you. Prabhuji will, Paramatma Prabhu will share with all of you. In that article, he says, just like when you are looking at the sky, you see a full moon. Then there may be a passing cloud which blocks your vision of the moon. And after some time, the cloud passes away. Again, you see the moon. Similarly, for one moment, we forget Krishna. One moment. But that one moment in spiritual world is equal to millions of lifetimes in the material world. And the reason I'll tell you why. Our 6 months is equal to 1 day of demigods in the heaven. You know that? And our another 6 months is equal to another 1 night of the demigod. Therefore, it's only 1 day for them. 1 day and 1 night is equal to 1 year for us here. Because Shraddha and all we do once a year for the passed away ancestors. And why? If you do Shraddha once a year, it is equal to giving them a big feast once a day. It's like that. So here it is 1 year. In heavenly planets, it's 1 day. At the same time, in Brahmaloka is only 1 moment only. If we do like this in Brahmaloka, it's equal to 1 year here. That means the time actually converges if you see like that. So when you go to spiritual world, there, time is absent by conspicuous by its absence, it is said. Therefore, one moment you forget Krishna, that's equal to millions of lives in this earth. So therefore, it appears like a big period for us in the material world, but actually it is a very small, momentary forgetfulness of Krishna. So now Prabhupada has given 5 reasons Why we become momentarily forgetful? One reason is given. We are a spark. Krishna is like the sun. A spark can be put out if it touches even tumbler of water. Whereas the sun is so huge that even if you throw buckets of water, it will not get extinguished. So Krishna will never fall, but Jiva can fall because of its tiny nature. Another thing Prabhupada says, the tendency of the Jiva to fall, whereas Krishna cannot fall. Jiva is small, Krishna is great, like the sun and the spark, he says. Another thing he says, the Jiva desires sometimes, I want to create something for you. And Krishna says, what would you create? Everything is already there. But he desires to create. So he comes in this world to become Brahma. And then Prabhupada says that when Brahma creates, if everything is done, he is very happy, I have done my job, he goes back to Godhead. But if he becomes proud that I created, then he becomes a human being. Then from human, he comes down to animal species and all that, like that. And then Prabhupada says, every one of us have been Brahma, he says. That means you have been given one universe. From that position only we have fallen. Some Brahmas fall, some Brahmas don't fall, they go back. Like that. So that's another thing that Prabhupada says. So in this way, Prabhupada gives various explanations that how the Jiva has an experience with Krishna before coming to this world. So these things are very clearly explained. I have 3-4 articles with me. I'll share with Prabhuji. You can go through it at your leisure. But there is some competition in spiritual world also, but it's a very healthy competition. I'll tell you how. There's one verse which says, Yadiduram gate Krishne manishova ikshanayatam aham purvam iti samsprishya remire. There's a verse which says that one day Krishna was telling his covered boys, I want to see the beauty of the forest. So saying this, Krishna went ahead of all the covered boys. And one covered boy saw Krishna at a distance. So he told his friend, now I'm going to run and catch Krishna first. So his friend also said, I am also going to run and catch Krishna first. So they said, let us see who catches Krishna. So they both ran. And when they both ran, how did they run? When they were running, they were smiling at each other. That's the first thing. Not only that, both of them tried to run ahead of each other with the intention to inspire the other to run ahead of themselves. I will run ahead of you so that you get inspired to run ahead of me. And you will run ahead of me to inspire me to run ahead of you. That was the kind of competition there. And then as soon as one of them reached Krishna first and touched Krishna, Krishna embraced the covered boy. And what did the other boy do? He said, Jai, he said. That means he celebrated the success of the other covered boy. And hearing that Jai, Krishna embraced the Jai telling boy also after that. So these three symptoms are special in spiritual world. Now I'll show you one material world competition, how it is. I'll show you. You can see this one. I would check whether I have put it in sound. I have put as a second. Sound is there, yeah. Okay. Right? Clear. This one, huh? Okay. Okay. must have observed. What did you observe?
They were hitting each other. Yeah.
You saw, no? See, first they were going so fast that one fellow on his own collapsed because of trying to race against the other person. And later on, you saw one fellow kicked also. And then you saw while going, he was going like this, like a zigzag manner, so that he cannot get ahead of him. So in this world, you see that people don't let others go ahead of them. They want to keep them in that level. That's one thing. And also they kick people when they try to get ahead of them. Or sometimes they race so badly that they themselves, like I heard one couple was going in a car, and another car went ahead of them. So this fellow's wife told his husband that, hey, look at that guy, how smartly he drives. Look at you. You're like slow like a snail. He became, his ego got hurt. He said, you don't know my real speed is X. Wait and watch. And he started speeding up. And he chased, and both the fellows are going very fast. At last, both the cars came to equal level. Then the husband asked the wife, now do you agree? See, now I have caught up with this speed. What do you say now? Am I intelligent or foolish? She said, both, she said. Both? Why? Why do you say that? You're smart because you're able to catch up with this speed. You're foolish because 20 miles ago you're supposed to take a left hand. I have to say. So, in racing with others, sometimes you get toppled. So you see the difference between the two competition, Gopal's competition and these two fellows' competition. See, these fellows are gritting their teeth against each other. You saw that? Whereas what is Gopal's doing?
Smiling.
They're smiling at each other. And these fellows want to get ahead of each other to prove that I am better than you. Correct? Whereas in Gopal's, you see that, I will run ahead to inspire the other fellow to run ahead of me. That was true. And not only that, once a person achieves success, what the other person did, he's a giant, which means he's appreciating the success of the other. Whereas in these two guys, nobody wants to let the other fellow succeed. So therefore, the spiritual world, the so-called envy, it looks like envy or competition. The competition is actually much different than the material world. Is it all right?
Yeah.
Mataji, who asked the question? Is it all right?
Yes, this is Shama Sakhi. Prabhu, thank you so much. So just one quick clarification. So the symptom of ignorance is...
So are you the same two sisters who distribute books and all?
Yeah.
Our Rana Maharaj used to glorify a lot.
Yes. They were in TGV also.
Is it right? Okay. I have seen the photo distributing books. They have introduced many people to this con, I think. Many years ago, they wrote a letter to me asking about the preaching. I remember.
Yes, Prabhu. The second part of what you said, we wrote a letter, is true. I don't know what you said before. I could totally blanked out. But so thank you, Prabhu. Yes, thank you for your help. Help actually.
Thank you.
Yes.
Very nice. Anyway, you have got a place in the heart of great soul, Ranath Maharaj. He was very appreciative. Once, when I told him that time that you were asking about the preaching, Maharaj was saying that, they are very powerful devotees. They do a lot of services, not only book distribution, they also cultivate and traditional people who are selling. Very good. Thank you. I just had a little doubt, therefore I wanted to check. They're the same two sisters, right?
Yes.
So they live in Chicago only, right?
Yes.
Prabhu, we wanted to come, but me and my sister got COVID actually. So we are still recovering. So we are really missing your association actually.
So COVID could not stop your enthusiasm to hear the lecture online.
We cannot miss you, Prabhu. We cannot miss.
COVID. You have defeated the COVID now.
Yeah, Prabhu. I mean, we are doing good. So we are going to India in few days actually. So we are just praying that we recover fully. We are taking a group to Eco Village. So
this is the time in January they go for this thing. Yeah, correct.
Yes, Prabhu. So we are asking your prayer.
Take care and get well soon. Huh?
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Actually, me and my sister are writing an essay actually from Jiva Goswami's thing. I'll maybe share with you something. So if you can share Ravindra Swarup Prabhu's article, it would help our essay.
Yes, Ravindra Swarup article, along with the 3-4 more articles I have. regarding
Hmm.
Jiva Prabhu, if somebody has questions, you can share.
Yes, please, Prabhu. Thank you so much. And we both have one request. Next time, please come for more days to Chicago, if possible.
Yeah. Actually, when I go to Naper Valley, I have to go through Chicago only. I'll come to Chicago for a day and then only I'll go to Naper Valley, I think. Yeah. One thing I'll tell you, see, what will bring me to any place is I have been given a special mandate in USA, which is actually a global duty officer for Western outreach, which is for youth outreach in the West. So I'm looking for places where there's a university preaching going on. And along with university preaching, I will also do some program like this. But my main focus service given by GBC to me is go to places where there's university preaching happening and connect with them and be of some use to them. That's my. So therefore, now I fixed a few places. The East Coast, I'm going to Boston and Brooklyn and Baltimore. These three places. And in the West Coast, San Jose, ISV. And in the Southern, there are three places: Dallas, Houston, and Austin. Three places. So I can include Chicago if I get to know more about the youth preaching and I can be of use. I'm just telling all of you, in case you're doing, then I have all the reason to come running here also. Because our GBC is very concerned about making Western body devotees. So there are three types of youths. One is the Indian boys coming here for doing job, which is very common. And the second category are the children who are born and brought up here. All these youth kids. And the third category are the Western-bodied people who are from America itself. Yeah. So the GBC is concerned about all these three audiences in West. So they want to increase them in profuse number. Like just now I'm coming from Pune. In Pune, we had a camp for 800 youths. We had all association notice from all over India. They had come for a 1 week long camp in Pune. So in India, we have the luxury of having large number of youth devotees. So in America also, they want to have a lot of youths. They feel that our American temple should be thronged by youth kids. So that there is a bright future for ISKCON. Of course, I am very newcomer to American preaching. You can call me a toddler in America here. It's a new field for me. I haven't done this kind of preaching before. Last 3 decades, I have been in Pune. But now I'm being sent here. And I am basically connecting with mentors in different parts of America. Through them, I'm trying to do something. Here, if there are some mentors who are preaching to the colleges, and I can be of use to them, I'll be most happy. Thank you. Shilpa Prabhupada ki. You can ask, yeah.
You want to take any questions locally?
I can, but if they have time, and those who want to go can go. I can wait for some more time.
Time permits then only.
Yes, please ask Mataji.
Yes, ma'am.
Prabhu, actually I had 4 questions, but if time doesn't.
What time you have to go? You have time, no?
We have to go to temple. Yeah, we have time, Prabhu. We have
Another 15 minutes we have. Yes, ma'am.
So Prabhu, first of all, I really want to express my gratitude that came here. Your Vani Vaikunta Association are very, very powerful. I never saw the way you showed us, so we were seeing it with your eyes too. Really. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I have this like.
Actually, I have one section called Holy Land Free of Hunger and Anger. In my YouTube channel, I will find it. Just with the word Holy Land free from hunger, anger, and thirst.
So that's your talk.
That's a target. It's exclusively on the topic. Because this material world, we have cutthroat competition. And in that world, we have live and let live. So it's a comparison between the two worlds.
I will definitely.
You can see that. Yeah.
So now coming to again our your space of material world. So like as you mentioned that like service, even if it is really small, then it is very valuable to the Lord Himself.
Correct.
And I'm thinking in terms of let's say new devotees or our own children,
Yeah.
who also do services, but as parents, we are always thinking of their ongoing improvement. So how to strike a balance between their improvement and not judging their service as very useless or small or faulty.
One's own children or other devotees.
Both.
Both, yeah.
Some new people are also like our children only, like.
Correct.
us.
So, one important thing is, we want to protect, we want to maintain, and we want to give them a feeling of we are wanted and loved and cared for and sheltered. So this, once you can give them this feeling, then after that your any inputs or feedback will be well taken by them. But once they have a little feeling that you are upset with them or angry with them, and you haven't deposited enough in them, in their emotional bank deposit, as they say, then once they get disconnected from you, then they will not be willing to listen to any good piece of advice. So there are 4 types of parenting we talk about. So one is called as neglectful parenting. Neglectful means, parents just don't care about children. They just leave them to themselves. Or parents who are quarreling even in the presence of children. That's a very bad parenting, neglectful parenting. Another one is called as authoritarian, like Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad. He was like very much micromanaging, pushing down the throat like that, yelling and shouting and all that. Then we have permissive parenting. Permissive means, those parents don't want the love of the child for them affected, like Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, overly lenient. And in the name of being lenient, they destroy the children by that. That is also very bad, permissive. And the last one is the real type of parenting, which is called authoritative, we call it, which is a combination of polite and firm, courage and considerate, bold and sensitive. It has a combination of hard and soft. Both are there. Like, for example, a mother tells a boy, my dear boy, see, 5 to 6 you can play, but 6 you should come back for studies. And the boy also tells the mother, Mom, 5 to 6 is my time, you can't interfere. I will play, but I promise you I'll come back at 6. So they both have agreement. And such parents are the best parents. They know where to give lenience and where to catch. But authoritarian parents, they catch everywhere. If you catch in everything, then the children get put out. Or if you leave them lenient everywhere, they get destroyed. So we should catch them in certain, like for example, I'm in Pune now, I'm president. So many people know that I'm very liberal in many things. For example, we have a computer lab we have where anybody can watch YouTube videos and they can download anything they want. But in the laptops, we have put parental control. In the smartphone, we have parental control. One brahmachari misuses the laptop once, they're watching something improper. For lifetime, you won't get it back. But he can go to lab in a public place where everybody is watching him. That we are giving them freedom. Because that means educative materials and all, I don't deprive them of that. At the same time, I am strict about certain things which are damaging to them. So if the child gets convinced that my parent actually is preventing me from damaging myself, then they perceive it as love. So authoritative parenting is the most ideal, like Rishabhadev and 100 sons. He made them sit down and he gave them the education. Suniti and Dhruva, is also authoritative. She's very loving, at the same time firmly telling him this is what you should do.
So it takes a longer time also to build that kind of
Rapport.
relationship.
That's true, yeah. It takes time.
So in that meantime, we should not lose our patience.
Correct. And another thing is, you should speak what is right and provide them facility to do the right and give them the, association, where give them a climate or ambience and association, which will make them, walk the right path. And then you will have to give them freedom. These 3 things are in your hands, like train and educate them. Tell them this is right, this is wrong, clearly. And then provide them facilities. For example, like there are some 200 dramas available in Shobhati, for example. They have done drama. And now there are also many puppet shows, many things. So you provide abundant videos, devotional videos. Like I went to Seattle, our Harivilas Prabhu. He has made an entire room full of books for the children, all spiritual books. And that room is always occupied by children. Any time of the day you go there, 20-25 children there. So he says that when parents come to temple, they are busy in services. So children tell the parents, I'll be here, you come and take me later. They go to the room.
That's
So you provide them facility. Yeah. And also there's a screen where they can watch also some devotional videos, but they can't watch anything else. You can only watch what is available there.
right.
So in this way, train and educate them in what is right and what to pick and what to drop, what to feed and what to fence, you call it. So that you train them. Secondly, provide them facility. Thirdly, provide them association and ambience. Beyond these three, nothing is in our hands. Then you have to also trust that there is something ultimately in Krishna's hands. So children come with their prarabdha karma. Purva Janma karma, Purva Janma, the Punyam Papama, Agre Davati Davati, it comes from the previous life. Sometimes parents are very good, but the children may not be so good because the parents became devotees after the child was born, after many years. They have not trained them before. Now after 10 to 15, it's difficult to train. So then we need to be dutiful yet detached. Actually, some amount of detached disposition keeps both the parents and the children's mind cool. That we have to cultivate detachment. Yeah. By that, we have done our part.
Yeah.
Correct, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Prabhu, we talked about capacity also. So within one's capacity, one does services. So sometimes it's just a personal application question, Prabhu. How do we understand our capacity? Because we tend to stretch ourselves in different areas.
Yeah.
And it works because Krishna is very kind and merciful. But how should we ascertain that, okay, this is appropriate, we should extend ourselves?
Correct. So I have a session called as coming out of comfort zone. There are 3 zones: comfort zone, stretch zone, panic zone. So if you are in comfort zone, life will be boring for you. If you are in panic zone, you will have phobia, you will have nightmares, and you will have irritation, and your quality of service will be affected. And it is no more thrill. It is panic now. You will not be comfortable. You will get ulcers. You have to go to doctor and things like that. It's panic zone. And stretch zone means there's a challenge placed in front of you. So that kind of challenge means it's a little more than what you can do, but it gives you a sense of thrill that I never thought I could do it. Now I made it. That kind of feeling you get. So the stretch zone is ideal, I think. Yeah. And we should not allow ourselves to remain in a comfort zone. We have to give some task to ourselves regularly, time to time. Like one task is going to come to an end, and we have to give ourselves the next task. Yeah.
And then,
and there, if you hear that lecture on coming out of comfort zone, I have given something like 15 or 18 areas in life. Like in every area, like for example, in friendships, or in health, or in our spiritual services, and our chanting japa. In each of it, we can go out of comfort zone and come to stretch zone. Yeah. Yes.
And then you also told that very, very interesting story of how the temple president resolved the issue between two. It was amazing. So to cultivate that strength of creative thinking of resolving the issues, I mean, is there something that we can do or it comes naturally?
We certainly have to educate ourselves also.
Okay.
Like conflict resolution, we say now. How do we resolve the conflicts? And the resolving the conflicts also requires maturity on the part of the person who is understanding the conflict well. Like in one temple president was worried about the running of the temple. One congregation person went and told him that, Prabhu, if you can leave the Rath Yatra this year to me, I will hold it. He said, temple president said, wonderful, that's wonderful. So are you ready to raise the funds? He said, yes, Prabhu. I want to conduct the Rath Yatra and 40 lakh rupees, he said. So the president told him, you collect 40 lakh rupees, Prabhu, but 5 lakh rupees you spend for the Rath Yatra. So you're going to build the temple. Because temple is now struggling for funds. So for running of the temple, we had difficulty. But the congregation devotee became very morose. He said, see, I am ready to collect 40 lakhs and do the Rath Yatra, you are not allowing me. So then he stopped coming to temple, So now almost like 2 to 3 months passed, and then GBC came. So GBC asked the president on the way from the airport to the temple, how is everything going on? Then he said, Maharaj, this congregation devotee, either is super enthusiastic or is totally dull. Then he told the matter, what it was. That he wanted to spend 40 lakhs for a Yatra. I told him no, he became morose. And Maharaj took the note of it. Later on, when Maharaj came, everybody comes. Then that congregation devotee also had come to meet Maharaj, offered obeisances. Maharaj said, he called him and said, no, see, you are a very senior devotee. I'll be happy if you arrange a Yatra in our city. Like that he said. Maharaj, really, if you give order, why will I not do? I will arrange a very big one, Maharaj. I was already thinking of spending 40 lakhs, bringing 40 lakhs and conducting a Yatra. Maharaj said, yes, yes, you can definitely conduct Rath Yatra and 40 lakhs, but I want you to collect 1 CR. 1 crore. 1 crore.
Okay.
But he said, Maharaj, but how can I collect? Maharaj said, tell me how much money are you going to put? Yes. Maharaj, I was planning to put 20 lakhs. And then I thought another 20 devotees will give 1 lakh. So total 40 I was planning to spend. Maharaj said, no, if you are putting 20, then many other big shots in the city will give more. Don't worry, 6 more months we have. You aim at 1 CR, like Maharaj. So this fellow aimed at 1 CR and made a committee, development committee, Rath Yatra committee and everything, called the congregation in case of money, he put 20 lakhs. Many outsiders gave, it came to 90 lakhs it came. And they spent only 40. So the temple got 50. You know, on the day of Rath Yatra, both this temple president and that life member, they both were dancing together. They forgot their enmity. Because the temple president was happy that he got money. And that life member was happy that he could do Rath Yatra. And they said, because the GP was very mature, he understood how to not, Prabhupada said, don't break them, mend them. He said, yeah. So Prabhupada said, don't remove them, deform them. He says, so we should know the art of doing it. That requires maturity because the president didn't have the maturity. Whereas this GBC had the maturity. So he knew how to handle this situation. So what I am doing these days for the leaders, there is a program called MALT, we call it, MALT, we call it. MALT stands for Managers and Leaders Training. Managers and Leaders Training. Malt, we call it. Malt was like ragi malt. You know ragi malt? That's why I gave the name malt for this. You will find it in the playlist. You will find. The only thing is, it's only 40 topics, out of which 24 I have finished, but they are all in Hindi. You know Hindi? Okay, it's in Hindi. So there, if you go through this, Mataji, one by one, you go through it, leisurely you go through it, you will develop a lot of understanding on resolving situations and all. Yeah. That is actually for leaders, that type of training.
So my last question. This verse talked about pleasure of Krishna also.
Yeah.
And I see sometimes that devotees have like different ways of pleasing Krishna. Like, let's say some devotees had come to my home and they do the offering and then they open the offering and they offer to Parampara as well. And my understanding was that when once we offer to Krishna, it is offered to everyone. I don't need to do that, but they emphasize that no, I want to offer. So, like,
is it a bhoga offering?
Bhoga offering. So, different people have different ways of pleasing Krishna. And sometimes you might fall into that trap that, oh, Krishna will not be pleased with me if I don't do this properly. But I don't like that feeling because I have my own natural way of pleasing Krishna, and that's my relationship with him. Because if I take anything from anybody or copy them, then that's theirs. It's not mine. So that feeling sometimes goes on in my heart, and I cannot directly connect with Krishna that way. So
see, there are certain things which are taught by in deity worship, like Jananivas Prabhu handed over a deity mystery, for example. Those are all official protocol, Those are official protocols. So those official protocols we follow. What it is. Like for example, no temple can have deity unless they have 12 brahmanas, second initiated devotees. So we follow the official protocol. In the same manner, like in some places they have Guru, then Prabhupada, and then the plate for Radha Krishna and Gavanita. In some places they don't have for Guru, they have only Prabhupada. And of course, Guru is there, but Guru then a separate plate. Correct, no? Yeah. In some places they have one plate for Guru, one plate for Prabhupada, and then for Gavanita and Radha Krishna. In some places for one plate for Guru, they don't keep it. Only for Prabhupada they keep, correct, no? Liver.
Yeah, correct.
Correct.
We only offer it to Gorka and after that we offer it to Prabhupada and
Correct.
Guru.
Like that way. So I would say this is just a difference in certain ritual practices. So whatever is given to us by our GBC locally and our local TP, that we follow, that we stick to. That makes it easy for us. In this kind of protocol, official protocol, like initiation, for example, some gurus say at least 3 years they should be chanting 16 rounds. Some gurus say 1.5 years will do. So guru to guru it varies also. So then we in Pune also is one Gopalakrishna Maharaj, is Lokanath Maharaj. So 1.5 to 2 years is enough. They say somebody is practicing well, they are happy. Now Rana Swami's group, they will say that 3 years. So what I do is according to the guru's prescription, we just follow it. So our superiors are gurus and GBCs and local authority, temple president. Whatever they say, that protocol we follow. So that makes our life very easy. We don't have to think, because otherwise, one example I'll tell you. In Pune, somebody got Laddu Gopal. One Mataji got Laddu Gopal and she wanted to do Abhishek for that on a festival day. So one another devotee opposed to that, saying that we are in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Why do you bring Laddu Gopal? You should have Radha Krishna or Gaur Nitai. We cannot have. Then Mataji said, I already brought, can't we have Abhishek? So there was a differences in opinion. So then that devotee argued that in our altar, where do we worship Laddu Gopal in the temples? We don't worship. And he was arguing. So basically, then I told them one simple thing. If Matajis have Laddu Gopal in their homes, there is no problem. In India, it's very common. Every home has a Laddu Gopal. And we are not against Balakrishna. And even we study pastimes of Yashoda Krishna. So much we study and speak Damodar Leela and all that we speak. So we are not anti-Damodar or something like that. We are not anti-Damodar movement. At the same time, in the official protocol, we are Brahma Mada Gaudiya Sampradaya. In altars, we worship Radha Krishna and Gaur Nitai. So when it comes to public program, where say Janmashtami, for example, you are calling 500 people or something like that, there whatever office post holders are telling us, like GBC, Guru, President, we just faithfully follow that. So you can have our own thing at home, but when it comes to the public thing, we should stick to what they say so that there is no unnecessary misunderstanding. It's clear now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So Prabhupada ki thank you.